The feud between Kinahan and Hutch entered a period of rapid bloodshed earlier last year. With Garuda doubling down on their efforts and the criminals hiding from each other, they were relatively calm. To date, he's been shot 12 times, 2 in Spain, 1 in Meath, and 9 in Dublin. It's been a feud of 2 halves, 9 murders between February and August last year and just 2 killings in the 9.5 months since. The 4-month lull in killings at the end of last year was broken just before Christmas when Noel Kerwin was shot dead outside Clondalkin's partner's home. The shooting death of his father of 2, Michael Keogh, 37, in Dublin's North City Centre on Wednesday marked the end of a 5-month murder-free period since Kerwin's murder. The Hutch murder of Keogh, who was allied with the Kinahan gang, has brought fears of escalating gun violence to reality. How it started. The killings began on September 24, 2015, when Gary Hutch, 34, was shot dead in his apartment near Marbella in southern Spain. He was murdered by Kinahan, a drug cartel he once belonged to, after he was accused of providing information to the police. He also tried to shoot and kill a high-ranking gang member. Back in Dublin, his family had been negotiating with gang leader Christy Kinahan for months to save his life. About €200,000 was paid, and Gary Hutch was told he could return to Spain. However, the deal was refused and Hutch was murdered. 3 months later, 34-year-old Darren Kearns was shot dead in the parking lot of a pub in his avenue in Blackhorse, Dublin. His assassination on December 30, 2015 is now linked to the Kinahan gang. Kearns and other criminals are believed to have been behind a failed shooting against members of West Dublin a few weeks ago. In February 2016, the Kinahan-Hutch feud was firmly planted in the public consciousness when the hit team stormed a boxing weigh-in at the Regency Hotel in North Dublin. David Byrne, 35, was shot dead in the attack, while other gang members fled on foot. Footage of the weigh-in as gunmen stormed the room was captured on attendees' cell phones and posted online almost immediately. When the Irish public saw the newspapers the next day, the shock was complete. The front page was filled with images of armed gangs posing as a SWAT team in Garda entering and exiting the Regency. The unprecedented images reveal the horror and audacity of the attack and put it right in the middle of the federal election campaign. That day, a photographer saw the weigh-in from outside the hotel and attempted to snap a picture of the famous gangland figure that was expected there. Once the extraordinary scene unfolded, the camera was ready. Much of the public debate has centered on why crime journalists and photographers thought they existed, and nobody cracked down on Lake Garda when Spain-based Irish drug wholesalers expected to be there. Kinahan Organised Crime Group. The Kinahan Organised Crime Group, also known as the Kinahan Cartel, is the leading Irish transnational organised crime syndicate, said to be the most powerful in Ireland and one of the largest organised crime groups in the world. It has also been established in the UK, Spain, and the United Arab Emirates. Founded by Christy Kinahan in the 1990s, his eldest son Daniel Kinahan runs the day-to-day operations of his family's criminal gang. Estimates attribute a fortune of up to €1 billion to them. The Kinahan Cartel has had an ongoing feud with the Hutch gang since 2015, which has resulted in 18 deaths as of August 2021. Background. The Kinahan Organised Crime Group was founded by Christy Kinahan in the late 1990s and early 2000s, while Ireland's Celtic Tiger period was going on. A native Dubliner, Christy's first convictions date back to the late 1970s and involved housebreaking, car theft, burglary, handling stolen goods, and forgery. The group reportedly began as a street gang of inner-city drug dealers in Dublin, but soon grew on a global scale to become the current multi-million-dollar criminal network that it is today. Christy served as the direct leader of the organization up until the position was passed on to his son Daniel Kinahan. Since then, Irish courts have concluded that the group is a murderous organization involved in the international trafficking of drugs and firearms. On the 12th of April 2022, the United States Department of State announced the offering of rewards of up to $5 million under the Narcotics Rewards Program for information leading to the arrest and/or conviction of the Kinahan family members. The reward is offered jointly with the Garda Síochána, National Crime Agency, and Drug Enforcement Administration. The 7 key members were named as Daniel Kinahan, Christopher Kinahan Jr., veteran Dublin-born criminal Bernard Clancy, Daniel Kinahan's advisor and closest confidant Sean McGovern, former KOCG enforcer, now Marbella-based money launderer Johnny Cash Morrissey, and Ian Dixon, who was arrested over the 2015 Costa del Sol murder of Gary Hutch but never charged. Despite the sanctions being imposed on the gang, it was reported in August 2022 that Spanish-based associates of the Kinahan Cartel were continuing to operate multi-million euro drug shipments. Johnny Cash Morrissey and his wife were arrested in Marbella in Spain on Monday the 13th of September 2022. Kinahan family and associates. The Kinahan crime family is primarily involved in the drug trade. Christy Kinahan, also known as the Dapper Don, is the founder of the Kinahan crime group. He has served prison sentences in Ireland, the Netherlands and Belgium, including 6 years for dealing heroin, 2.5 years for possession of cocaine, and 4 years for money laundering. Daniel Kinahan, Christy's elder son and allegedly managing the day-to-day operations of the family criminal empire. A boxing promoter, Daniel has worked as an advisor for Tyson Fury. Paul Rice, a high-ranking member of the Kinahan family, he's known for being extremely violent, and because of this, he's considered a high-value target by other enemy gangs. Thomas Bomber Kavanagh, one of the leaders of the Kinahan family, is considered by many to be Ireland's most feared mobster and is considered the main name of the Kinahan family in the United Kingdom. He's known to be brutal and violent, being responsible for at least 7 murders. He's also known for being the head of the UK branch of the Kinahan gang. Freddie Thompson, a cousin of Liam Byrne, he was the head of the Dublin branch of the Kinahan gang from 1997 to 2008, when he had to leave Ireland over a feud he had with the Irish National Liberation Army. He's currently serving a life sentence for the murder of David Douglas. Liam Byrne, a notorious and dangerous Dublin gangster, he is a high-ranking member of the Kinahan family. He comes from a criminal family led by his father James Byrne, who was an associate of notorious Irish gangster Martin the General Cahill, and is the older brother of David Byrne, an associate of the Kinahan family who was murdered on 5th of February 2016 at the Regency Hotel in Whitehall, Dublin. Gerard Hatchet Kavanagh. He was believed to have worked as a debt collector and enforcer for the Kinahans. He was shot dead on 5th of September 2014 in Elvira, Marbella. Aged 44 at the time of his death, he had been heavily involved in the drug trade for over 20 years. Imre the Butcher Arakas. A notorious Estonian hitman, he is known for committing murders in several European countries such as Estonia, Lithuania, Spain and Ireland, in addition to having killed dozens of members of the Russian Mafia. Declan Mr. Nobody Brady. One of Daniel Kinahan's closest associates, he holds some of the most important positions within the gang. He is the main logistics man and quartermaster of the Kinahans, being primarily responsible for the gang's weapons depot and for their safety as a result. Kieran O'Driscoll. A foot soldier for the gang, he has a criminal record that ranges from possession of illegal drugs to attempted murder. Leon Griffin. A foot soldier for the gang, he is a friend of Freddie Thompson and is known to be one of the most brutal and volatile criminals not only in the Kinahan family, but in all of Dublin. Sean Gerard McGovern, Daniel Kinahan's advisor and closest confidant. He has managed communications on behalf of Daniel Kinahan and sells multi-kilogram quantities of cocaine. Ian Thomas Dixon. He has arranged multiple payments on behalf of Daniel Kinahan, as well as moved bulk currency in Ireland and the United Kingdom. Bernard Patrick Clancy, a childhood friend of Daniel Kinahan. He was previously jailed for drugs offences on the Costa del Sol. John Francis Johnny Cash Morrissey. Manchester, England-born former Cork resident Morrissey worked as an enforcer before fleeing Ireland in the early 2000s after reportedly being involved in a bid to harm an Irish Criminal Assets Bureau officer. Based in Marbella, Spain ever since, Morrissey allegedly became the KOCG drugs shipping organizer and money launderer. On the morning of Monday 13 September 2022, a combined force of 6 enforcement agencies led by the Spanish Civil Guard's elite Central Operative Unit arrested Morrissey at his villa in Marbella, the first of the 7 men named by the OFAC in April 2022 to be arrested. Morrissey had gained notoriety from being part of the team publicising his wife Nicola's Scottish-based Nero Drinks Company Limited, which was thought to be part of Morrissey's €200 million annual money laundering operation, leading to her arrest as well at the same time. If you enjoyed the video, like and share with your friends. Also subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on other juicy stories.